Have you ever wondered what an early-stage investor is really looking for before they write that first check? Because, it's probably not what you think. So let's dive in and break down the specific signals that prove you're actually ready for that investment.
And this, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it, the decision to invest. It's not happening during your 30-minute pitch. Nope, it's based on all the evidence, all the proof you've been building for weeks, maybe even months, before you even walk through that door.
So let's totally reframe our thinking here. It's so easy for founders to get fixated on the big idea and making the pitch deck look perfect. But investors, they're playing a different game. Their main focus, their obsession, is reducing risk. They're on the hunt for real, tangible signals that you're already on the right track.
And this is absolutely crucial. Investors don't expect you to have everything figured out. They're not looking for perfection. They invest in readiness and in direction. So your job is to systematically go after the biggest questions, the biggest what-ifs, and show them you're making real, measurable headway.
So what are these signals we're talking about? Well, let's start with the first, most fundamental question every single technical startup faces. Can you actually build the thing you say you're going to build? There are basically three core ways to prove this. You could have a working prototype that already solves a key technical challenge, or maybe some defensible IP. Or, and this is a big one, you can show something investors call product velocity. Let's really break that last one down. Okay, so you might be thinking, this is great, but what if I don't have users yet? What if I don't have any revenue? How in the world can you show traction? Well, the answer is you can, and it's all about that product velocity.
This is where we get to kind of redefine what traction even means. Product velocity is all about your team's rhythm. It's execution speed. How quickly can you build something, get feedback, fix the bugs, and learn from it? That's speed. That's a powerful signal that your team can figure things out, no matter what comes your way.
And here is exactly how you communicate that speed. Don't just say, oh, we move fast. Quantify it. Give them the data. Saying, we've shipped 18 features in 60 days. Well, that's not a brag. It's a data point. It proves your team is already a well-oiled machine.
Okay, so you've proven you can build it. Awesome. But now comes the next and honestly even more critical question. Does anyone actually want it? This is all about proving demand.
Founders love talking about what their product does. But investors, they're way more interested in the pain it solves. Before you build out that laundry list of features, you have to prove you found a problem that genuinely, deeply hurts.
So how do you show that proof of need when you don't have paying customers yet? Well, do you have a waitlist where people are actually opening your emails? Are you in active talks with potential pilot customers? Have you done enough user interviews to find a real painful problem that keeps coming up? These are the signals that prove you're building something people actually need.
This is such a key strategic insight. Seriously, don't try to boil the ocean. Find a small, underserved niche where you can get some real love. I mean, having a handful of users who are absolutely passionate about your product is a much stronger signal than trying to appeal to some massive, indifferent market.
And finally, we come to the third set of signals, which is all about the team. Because at this early stage, let's be honest, investors are betting on people. So, can your team actually execute on the vision and operate like a real company?
Let's just take advisors, for example. Anyone can slap a big name on a slide. That's not a real signal. The real signal is an engaged partner, an advisor who's in the trenches with you, who's reviewing the product, making introductions, and actually helping shape your strategy. That shows you know how to use your resources wisely.
Now let's talk about one of the quietest, but maybe one of the most powerful signals of all, your cap table. That's just the list of who owns what percentage of your company. A clean, simple, and fair cap table tells an investor that you're professional, you're organized, and you're ready for their money, without any future drama.
I know this stuff might seem like boring legal details, but getting them right is a huge signal of how serious you are. Proper incorporation, making sure all the IP is assigned to the company, having vesting schedules, even filing your 83B elections on time. These aren't just checkboxes. They are foundational milestones that prove you're building a real company, not just a side project.
So we have our signals, right? We've got technical capability, market demand, and operational readiness. But how do you combine all of them into something that truly builds investor confidence? Well, you have to turn your milestones into a story of momentum. The key here is to connect the dots. Don't just give them a random list of things you did. You need to weave it all into a coherent story that shows each step was intentional, it was logical, and it built on the last one.
It becomes a narrative of how you are systematically de-risking this venture.
And there's a simple and really powerful way to do this. It's the Milestones story framework. For every single milestone, you explain the context of why you did it, the action you took, and the specific result you achieved. Context, action, result. Super simple.
And here's what that looks like in practice. See, this isn't just a statement. It's a little mini narrative. It shows you had an insight, you took action based on it, and you got a real impact. It proves you're not just wandering around, you are moving with purpose. So, the crucial takeaway here is this. The goal is not to hype up your vision. The goal is to clearly and simply explain your progress. When you can articulate your milestones, what you've learned, and your direction without all the jargon and spin, that's when investors start to trust you. And that brings us to the final question you really need to ask yourself. Is your startup just a good story that you tell in a pitch deck? Or is it a series of concrete, undeniable signals that prove you are already on your way? When you can honestly answer that it's a signal, well, that's when you're ready to raise.